This is WPSL Port St. Lucie.
The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL, but you're encouraged to like and share them on Facebook because it's time for Joanne's World of Nutrition, presented by Nutrition World. Suite 121 in the historic Arcade Building, US 1 between Orange Avenue and Avenue A, directly across from City Hall. And now, here's the host of the show, Joanne Seeger.
Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. How about you, Cliff? You having an amazing morning?
It's a rare, amazing morning, yes.
Okay.
As a matter of fact.
All right. Good answer. Good answer. I always say fake it till you make it, right?
Well,
So,
absolutely.
yeah. So, oh my gosh. So, yeah, I kind of played hooky a little bit here on the show.
You went to Atlanta.
I went to Atlanta, and I got to tell you, I'm still pretty hyped up. It was for a educational conference. It was 2 days. A lot of sitting, though. I got to tell you, between driving to Orlando Airport, that's a couple hours there, and then the flight, and then sitting in a conference room for 2 days, whew. It's a lot sitting down that long. I mean,
Now, was
it's
there
like,
a lot of
when you,
screaming and cheering going on too?
Oh, no, it wasn't like a Tony Robbins kind of action, but it's funny you brought that up, Cliff, because there's a few points that now phenomenal speakers, learning so much, really having to pay attention. You didn't even want to go up to go to the bathroom because it was really cutting edge info. But the whole time I was like thinking, gosh, I kind of wish they were saying, okay, everyone just get up and do, some stretches or some jumping jacks and get the blood flowing. I was like, please say that, because I was like getting a little antsy. But yes, and I feel a little antsy now, so we must do our breathing exercise.
I was going to say, breathing cures many ailments.
Yes, let's get ourselves centered, focused, get everything nice and calm in our body, and make it the most efficient it can be. So any newbies listening, thank you so much for listening today. We start every show off with a quick breathing exercise. So what we do is exhale all the negativity, the drama, the frustration of the day or the week.
We do it for a short period of time, but you're welcome at
to
any time
continue on.
to do it as long as you want, whenever you want.
Definitely. Available to all and free. So we're going to quick exhale, and then Cliff, the expert counter, we're going to breathe in through our nose for 5, hold for 5, and exhale through our noses for 5. Please make sure not to use your mouth. And we're going to do this 3 times today, okay? All right, everyone, exhale.
Let it all out. Let it all out. Now let's begin our inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. And release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thank you, everyone that participated, which I hope is 100%. Sometimes, after having the show, many years, people say, why always the breathing exercise? Why not? Breathing is free, available to all. And I know that life can really get crazy sometimes. So if you just take those moments to really take deep breaths, and because we're normally always doing shallow breathing, it'll help your immune system, help your stress levels, help your adrenal function, your energy levels, your clarity. And I don't know about my listeners, but I want and need that 24/7.
Sometimes when we get stressed, we tend to breathe very shallow and clench our fists.
Yes.
And stress ourselves, tense ourselves
And
right up.
we wonder why we have headaches and we're tired and we're grumpy. All right, so today's topic, wow, it's an intense one, I got to tell you, and I'm hoping I can really get all the points across in the time of the show, is inflammation. Now, for many years, I have been preaching about stop inflammation, stop inflammation. A lot of my mentors, the same. But I gave it some thought yesterday. I was like, you know what? There might be people out there that keep hearing this terminology or hear their doctor say, take an anti-inflammatory, and not really know what the process is or really what the definition is. So I'm hoping today that not only can I explain it in my normal, very common like fashion, but also give you some really cool, really easy ideas to deal with it. But first, I must start with my favorite mentor's quote. So Dr. Mercola, he's a pretty famous doctor now, and he is probably the biggest doctor on social media. He really is very frank about his discussions on social media. He doesn't try to sugarcoat anything. He's gotten a lot of people, especially in politics, the status quo system, upset by a lot of things that he states. So I do love, and he always backs up everything with research. So here is his take on inflammation. So Dr. Mercola states, the presence of inflammation is what makes most disease perceptible to an individual. It can and often does occur for years before it exists at levels sufficient to be apparent or clinically significant. One could also argue that without inflammation, most disease would not even exist. The fact that your immune system drives the inflammatory process in disease is well established. Unfortunately, Western medicine offers little in the way of actual answers as to managing or overcoming the autoimmune process. The typical approach to therapy is generally to suppress the immune system with immunosuppressant agents or sometimes steroids. Both approaches are designed to reduce inflammation, but neither stops the underlying disease processes or allows for damaged tissues to regenerate. Unless you turn off the actual cause of fire, inflammation, all you have done is postpone the inevitable and potentially destroyed more of the building, your body, in the process by allowing the fire, inflammation, to smolder in a subclinical fashion. I really don't think I could have ever said it better than this. It just basically says the obvious. In the world, the latest stats is that 9 out of 10 of the world's conditions and diseases are all based on inflammation, accidents being the 10th. To me, that's something that we need to pay attention to. When I was listening to some of the research, there was a line that really stood out. Basically, we are treating most things, diseases, as the cause, where it's not. The diseases are, again, the symptom of inflammation, inflammation being the cause. So to me, I think it's easier if you approach your body with just saying, let me each and every day do the best I can to keep inflammatory processes in homeostasis where they need to be, then we can prevent all of these conditions. And maybe some people listening will say, well, that's just overthinking. I'm sorry, not overthinking it, the opposite, simplifying it. But I really do believe, after 30 years of listening to stories and hearing the people that do heal themselves from these conditions, it's usually where they're targeting inflammation and stopping the causes of it, and then their bodies have the ability to heal itself. So it's not like they're taking this one miraculous pill or supplement or that one weekend retreat that healed them. It's basically just stopped the process of inflammation that was killing them instead of trying to fix what the job that inflammation's supposed to do. So what is inflammation and what is the job it's supposed to do? Well, it's super important. We all need inflammation in our body, and it is part of our immune system and our immune response. So if you get a cut, you knock your knee, you get a bacteria that's trying to cause a cold, your body's immune response will be to go to that area and heal it. And I think it's really cool between, white cells, macrophages, all the cool stuff that the body has to work with. It goes in there, eats up the bad cells, the bad tissues, cleans it up, takes care of it. So the redness, the swelling, all the things you see in the beginning are just part of the process. Well, unfortunately, that's acute inflammation, and if that's working great and all systems are go, that's the way the body's supposed to work. But we're finding that we have chronic inflammation. So instead of the body being in the self-protection immune response mode, it's basically starting to damage the body because it's always on this high state of alert and attacking everything and anything. Like most people recognize like arthritis, autoimmune diseases that are occurring, Hashimoto's, things that, even like dry eyes. Dry eyes cause is inflammation. So really everything when the body starts malfunctioning or not working, like Dr. Mercola states, we get the warning signs that a disease pathway has begun. Everything where we're not healing well, or, a lot of things are breaking down. So like dry eyes, all these people are trying to do different procedures and different drops and anti-inflammatories, and they're wondering why they're not getting better because you're not stopping the inflammation pathway. So it's really crazy. But one of the analogies that I thought of that really hits home with me is, I had a basal cell removed, and when the surgeon came in, and he cut my the area where it was and removed it, I knew I would have inflammation. I knew that skin where the cut was going to be red and puffy and swollen, and that was to be expected because it was healing. Now, if a month later I still saw red, puffy, then I would definitely know that my body is not healing properly. So that's easy, right? Because we're looking at it. We can see that our wound or our, like a bumblebee bite, anything, it's not healing properly. But inside the body, what is happening when we constantly are bombarded by attacks, whether it be through diet or stress or poor choices, it's like having little surgical cuts all inside our body, on our tissue, on our arteries, our capillaries, our intestinal wall. Just picture this very sharp surgeon knife kind of just going through all the inside of the body, and the inflammatory process that it would take to heal all of those cuts. Well, that's what we've been bombarded with. So it's a little challenging for the body sometimes. It gets overwhelmed, and it really, really wants to fix us. It wants to heal it. But sometimes we're just giving it too much to work on at one time. And that's when you have chronic inflammation and the disease pathway begins, or the condition pathway. So to start off negative, I have to do that, but I definitely want to give you a positive twist right now. All the things that we're going to talk about this morning on the show are definitely preventable, and the first way to do it is through diet and avoiding inflammatory foods. Okay, so as you listen to the next 45 minutes, definitely keep in mind that everything I'm mentioning is preventable and can be done through your lifestyle choices. So for instance, stress is a cause of inflammation. Your body, even though it's something like that you're feeling, it actually has a major impact on inflammation and brings us really, our inflammatory response goes really out of whack, okay? We get puffy, swollen, tired, achy, okay? So something like that, a great fix would be a product that I sell called Angziocalm. So Angziocalm, if someone was to come into the store for inflammation and I hand them an anxiety remedy, they would be like, wait a sec, I told you that my knee hurts or my hand hurts and I'm puffy and I'm inflamed. And why are you selling me something for anxiety? Because as you have probably heard in your past, stress kills us. So anxiety, stress, same type of modality issue. It will basically make your body get overwhelmed 24/7. So if you take something for your anxiety or stress, right away you have more control over your dietary choices. So I think if you can address that first, you will have an easier time making healthier dietary choices. Because when we're cranky and we're stressed and we're anxious and we didn't get enough sleep, then we're turning for more sugar, we're turning for more caffeine, we're turning for more processed carbohydrates and alcohol because we are just not feeling well. So if you first address the emotional status of your body, then you'll have more control over the choices you make. So inside our gut, it's like a cheesecloth, and it's very, very particular about what goes through that cheesecloth. But stress especially, and poor choices, poor dietary choices, start making that cheesecloth kind of rip a little bit. It's, to me, it's like, when you just wash a material over and over and over again, the fabric starts breaking up and you start getting more permeability, or you start seeing through the material. It's the same way when your inflammatory response is out of control, and it's just making those little areas of cheesecloth that are supposed to be so tiny just big enough to let the important stuff go into your cells to nourish you, and making sure the bad stuff goes straight down and out of you. It starts getting a little confused because the size of that cheesecloth opening is opening. So all of a sudden, pathogens, bacteria, things that do not belong inside our body in the cell area starts leaking in. And that's what they call leaky gut. So again, an inflammatory process gone wrong. But there's so many phenomenal things we can do for that. Probiotics are incredible. If you've gotten overwhelmed by all the different supplements that are out there, and you keep trying the new ones that you see on Facebook or on the internet, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that, but please really go back to the basics of the things that really encourage good health every day for the rest of your life. And one of those is probiotics. So probiotics help your gut health. They help your intestinal wall stay at the right permeability. So that cheesecloth starts mending and healing. So if there's diverticuli, if there's leaky gut, if anything's going wrong, it's going to help heal that gut and have that good bacteria work like little soldiers to make sure the bad guys are going out and the good guys are going where they need to go. So when you're buying probiotics, please make sure you're getting a good brand that has human strains of bacteria. They have enough strains to cover all your needs. Some brands will have like a really fancy label. They'll show you all these amazing pictures. It'll look like the best thing ever, but then they'll have one strain. Our body needs tons of strains. I take one that's 33 different strains. I sell a lot of great ones that are maybe 13 strains, 17 strains. Each strain has a different job. It's kind of like the football team. Every single player on the football team is important. You can't take any of them out of the game and expect to win. It's the same thing with good bacteria. Now, we've only been able to identify a certain amount of them, and again, we can probably tell the story, in 5 years that there's 100 more that we need. But right now, to be able to bottle and consume the healthy bacteria and keep it stable, there's, about almost 35. So to take as many as we can benefits us because our diet supply is not providing the probiotics. So you can't say to me, oh, I'm eating all my probiotics. If you try to get it through yogurt, you're getting tons of dairy, which is pus and hormones and antibiotics and grossness, and sugar. So you're basically hurting yourself a lot more than helping yourself. And then if you do like the typical kefir that we're sold in our supermarkets, because kefir does have tons of probiotics, again, they flavor it with sugar, which sugar is the number one inflammation food. So again, you're hurting yourself more than helping yourself. So if you just take the probiotics, you don't have to worry about the sugar that the food consumes. Now, there are healthy foods that are fermented that will help us, but most mainstream Americans aren't consuming them. But if you'd like to look into them, it's kimchi, which is sold in our supermarkets, a little spicy, but super great for good gut health. You have homemade kefir you can make with coconut. So most health food stores now are selling coconut kefir. So you don't get the sugar and you don't get the animal food, but you do get tons of good bacteria. You can do raw sauerkraut. It doesn't, to me, I love sauerkraut. I can eat it every meal. So those are some things. Oh, miso soup. You can do miso soup. Just make sure that the restaurant doesn't add sugar to their soup. And those are some great ways to encourage good gut health. So having probiotics in your diet, to me, is the first line of defense against inflammation. Second line. The first was the emotional status. So really get the emotionals under control, the anxiety, the stress levels through adaptogenics, through the Anxiocalm for anxiety. Most people now are turning to CBD oil for any type of depressive, stressful, or anxious state. The cannabinoid system is amazing. All those cannabinoids work with the endocannabinoid system to make you feel happy, a feeling of well-being and homeostasis. So you could always use that. So the first line of defense is getting your emotional state under control. The second line of defense would be probiotics for gut health. So again, keeping everything where it's supposed to be. So when those bad guys, like even the particle size of your food matters. What's really unfortunate with leaky gut and when your cheesecloth fat-like fabric in your intestines starts letting too much through, it can even let too large of particles through your intestinal tract that will look like a foreign invader to the cells when it gets out there. Well, it is, this great big piece of food's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a molecule. It will get attacked, and then all of a sudden innocent cells and tissues get harmed along the way. So if you do have leaky gut or you're kind of suspicious of your intestinal health not being perfect, definitely chew your food well and be very, very careful about your diet and where and how you're eating your meals. If you choose to eat foods that are processed, genetically modified, and inflammatory, try not to be stressed or doing what I call, multitasking eating. Eating in your car, eating standing up, not really focusing on your chewing and relaxing. It's really critical. And these are things we can do. So if you just insist on maybe having some of the foods that you shouldn't, eating stress-free could help the body deal with that. Our body's energy supply goes to mainly our digestion. So if we can give our digestive system some help by chewing properly, eating in the proper, never ever eat when you're stressed. When you're upset about something, you're rushing around, you're angry, please don't eat anything, because our digestive system, which sometimes takes 80% of our energy, if we're in a high emotional state and we're trying to digest food, it's just not going to happen. There's not enough energy to go around. And then when you have all that undigested food matter, it will ferment, it will cause gas, inflammation, constipation, and then you have toxins building up and backing up in your system. So definitely gut health, extremely important. And what always goes along with health in general is water consumption. So when we come back from the break, I am going to talk about, once again, how critical water is. So no matter how much you think you're drinking, I'm going to give you a few tips on how to get better with just hydrating your body with water. So I hope you're enjoying so far. We're just going to take a really quick break, and thanks once again for listening, and I'll be right back.
Guiding the Treasure Coast in health, one person at a time. That's their motto at Joanne's Nutrition World, Suite 121, in the historic arcade building on US 1, downtown Fort Pierce. Joanne brings more than 25 years of experience in the natural health industry, right here to you. Take advantage of this free personal guide to wellness and good health. Meet with Joanne herself and get started. Nutrition World always provides you with the hottest new product lines, natural and homeopathic remedies, herbals, and best of all, expert advice from the people who care. Call Joanne at 464-3598, 464-3598, and learn the correlation between diet and great health. Stop in today. The expert guidance to health is always free at Nutrition World. Nutrition World, Suite 121 in the Arcade Building, US 1, downtown Fort Pierce.
Hey, it's Dr. Ravi at Tradition Family Chiropractic. We are dedicated to serving you and your family with integrity, compassion, and innovative care through the most advanced chiropractic care ever in chiropractic history, encouraging your health and your family's health to its maximum potential on a regular basis. Call us today at 772-345-0060 or schedule online at traditionhealth.com for your free consultation.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
Welcome back to Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World, Suite 121 in the historic arcade building, US 1, Fort Pierce, right across from City Hall. Once again, here's your host, Joanne Seeger.
Hey, everybody. Yes, on that note of Joanne Seeger instead of Joanne Augusto. So once my taxes were filed, then I'm on the mission to have everything be Joanne Seeger. Because right now I'm living in a world of both. I have Augusto on so much,
Social
and
Security
just so much, right? And so officially, as of today, my taxes were done last night. Thank you, Marie's Ross Bookkeeping. She's amazing. I'm going to give her a plug there. Yes, so now I can be officially Joanne Seeger. So yay! All right, so today's show is about inflammation, and if I'm talking really fast, folks, I apologize. It's just it's a very intense and very passionate subject to me, because if you really think about it, so 9 out of the 10 world's leading causes of death are all related to inflammation, as inflammation is the cause, okay? Now, so many different things cause inflammation. So, yes, there's a lot of different pathways that need to be considered. But what's killing us in our world right now? Cancer, cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's, arthritis, autoimmune disease, diabetes, neurological diseases. And then the Center for Disease Control said 7 out of 10 people die from these inflammatory diseases. So not old age. So many times we hear, oh, this is just old age. And even sometimes, unfortunately, doctors use that language. Oh, you're just getting old. It's a part of getting old. But that is not true. That's why not everyone is getting sick and unwell. And the Dr. McCullough quote that I did at the beginning of the show really says it well, where we do get the little signs and symptoms that the inflammatory process of the body is not in balance. So we just really need to pay attention. And most of the things that we're all taking, the Aleve, the ibuprofens, those statistically in 2018, okay, Aleve, I should say, so let's just call it Tylenol, the study was based on, was responsible for 16,500 deaths. Now, no one pays attention to these numbers because they, cloud it with all this other stuff, and that's by regular prescribed use, not overdoses. So all these things that we're taking to mask our symptoms, to so much block our symptoms, they are not making us well. They are causing more inflammation in the body and causing extreme distress to our liver and kidneys. And so it's not making you better. So you have to really consider other options. And the other options are there. And even though sometimes it seems like a struggle to consider them because it's not our norm, we like living in the fast-paced lifestyle of caffeine and sugar and processed foods and alcohol. I get that. I so understand that. But let's really accept the fact that when we're younger, we don't see all the damage yet that this constant chronic inflammation is doing to us. But we really have to recognize, like we would say to our child that thinks they're invincible and they could just do anything and never get hurt. You look at them like they're being silly, right? Well, we're being silly too to think that our choices are not going to affect us like it did our parents or our neighbors. We all will end up suffering if we don't make better choices. So some of the symptoms to think about, is like joint pain. So as soon as you have one little joint pain, then before you take that aspirin or pain reliever, think to yourself, okay, maybe it's time to make some better lifestyle choices, like drinking more water. I constantly I'm told, oh, Joanna, I can't drink too much water because I always feel swollen or I always feel puffy. Those are signs of inflammation, not imbalance. That means your body needs more water. If it doesn't have enough water, it can't bring moisture to the area it's trying to heal and expel it. So the water goes to the area that's trying to be healed, does its job, and then it gets expelled with the cellular waste that it's trying to get rid of. So it's really critical you give your body enough water. Now, urinary incontinence, I know these type of issues can be annoying, getting up a lot at night. So just train your bladder by doing small incremental amounts of water throughout your day. Even if you just can drink 2 ounces of water every hour you're awake, it's better than having dehydration. And there's so many yummy vegetables that fight inflammation but also hydrate the body at the same time, which I don't think is a coincidence. The vegetables that are great for hydration are the best anti-inflammatory vegetables. So celery, I know some people have a love-hate relationship with celery, but the studies are just, this year alone, everyone's talking about celery. But it is phenomenal about taking out excess waste products and water. So if you're like gout sufferer, arthritis sufferer, where your joints always feel swollen and tender and painful, celery is phenomenal for you, okay? Cucumbers, bok choy. Now, I think it's kind of cool because like bok choy is one of my favorite vegetables, especially baby bok choy. And a lot of people don't try this vegetable, but it's sweet. It's yummy. It's super easy. You can steam it in like 2 minutes and be done. Super easy to prepare. But look at that. It's the same color as celery. And once again, it's phenomenal at helping your body, basically clean up waste. So, I was like trying to mention to a customer yesterday, everyone that comes into my store knows I love my little stories and analogies. But when you're trying to clean up your house and you take your dry mop, okay, and you try to clean the floors, you're not going to get very far. You're going to get frustrated and the job won't be done right. But if you put a big bucket of water with the mop, now you can clean your floors, right? And it's and especially even wringing out the mop, getting the dirt out of it after it's picked it up. So it's the same thing inside the body. We don't we don't have to overthink it. The body needs water to clean itself. It needs water for every metabolic function. So if you want to take your inflammation and calm it down and give it the tool it needs to heal and then shut off, then you need to give it water. So the first step, so control the emotions, get calm, take adaptogenics, and then you want to help your gut health by taking probiotics. Okay, and then the next is drinking enough water. And please don't try to bombard your body with a huge amount of water first thing in the morning and then maybe before bed. that's not enough. Your body, just like it needs fuel all day long from healthy food to help you think and function and operate, it also needs water all day long. So water, 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 and then more water. And please, please don't drink out of inexpensive water bottles, plastic water bottles. I see some of my most cutting edge customers that are doing therapies that are awesome, and yet they walk in with Dasani or Zephyr Hills bottles. Those have known carcinogenic plastics in them. There are so many options available at every store, Walmart, Target, everywhere, where you can get PCB-free plastic. It's pretty much banned everywhere, but here, it's going to be banned here very soon. So please stay away from known carcinogenics and chemicals in your water. So Dasani, Zephyr Hills, they do have that in their plastic water bottles. Okay. So here we go. So we're calming the intestinal tract down with those probiotics. We're drinking enough water. Now what else we can do? Well, there's 2 amazing supplements that are anti-inflammatory and have no side effects whatsoever. All of the anti-inflammatory that is prescribed through a doctor all have known side effects. You just Google whatever you're taking in case you forgot or were never told, and just click side effects of whatever drug you have in your cabinet, and double check, because if you have one that has no side effects, it's the first I've ever heard of, because medications are artificial to the body, so they're known as an invader. So yes, sometimes they stop a pathway, so that way you don't feel the pain, but it doesn't mean it's not interfering with another system. So to me, it's so amazing that nature provided us with things that are anti-inflammatory without the side effect. So my favorite one is curcumin, and my supplement that I sell and take personally is called Curamed, which is BCM 95. Taking BCM 95, a few pills of that, is like taking 500 capsules of turmeric. You would never, ever be able to ingest enough turmeric to get therapeutic doses to do all the miraculous things that you hear about on the internet. They are all true. The Curamed, we have, so there's like 26 for that exact product and that exact dosing on that bottle. There's 26 human clinical studies, blood sugar stabilization, Alzheimer's, dementia, cancer. But you can just know that any amount of curcumin, the active ingredient turmeric, is a phenomenal anti-inflammatory. So it's really critical that you put as much anti-inflammatory foods into your diet as possible. All right. Oh, good. I can take a breath. All right. We have a caller. Awesome. I love callers. Call anytime, everybody. And so good morning, Jeff.
How are you?
I'm great. How you doing today?
Not too bad. I was calling to see if you have any thoughts on alkaline water.
Yes, I have lots of thoughts on it. So I love alkaline water, but like any other industry, some people are taking advantage of the concept of alkaline water and adding cheap things into just plain old dirty water and calling it alkaline. So I'm not a pro on every brand, so I would say if you can make your own alkaline water, you're better than most. But watch out for a couple brands that are being sold in the big box stores, because they're just adding like a mineral like a mineral oxide to water to say it's the mineral content is higher, therefore it's more alkaline. But if you take any type of minerals that are in poor quality, you can create stones in your body or an imbalance in your body. So if it's truly, ionized, alkalized water that you're creating yourself through some of the great machines that are available, then I would say go for it. More the better.
Yeah, what was the name of that company? I saw the long silver bottles that are tall and cylindrical. I'll think of it in a minute, but I saw that they were advertising it that one of their alkaline waters was one of the water bottles was alkaline. And
Yeah, there's
I just
so
thought
many now, so I can't speak for all of them. I have a machine myself, and sometimes, I don't
that's the
use it.
Kangen machine.
Yes. Yep.
Yes,
And
those are really wonderful.
yeah,
You
and
can
but
afford them.
some people
Ugh.
don't have the budget for that, but I do sell. I don't know if you've ever seen either Sell Food or Sell Power.
Do you
Those
sell real alkaline water at your store?
I do. Yes, we sell it by the case. I give 10% off of the case. It's usually $4.69 a gallon, and you'll save 46 cents each gallon if you buy 4 at a time. It tastes phenomenal. Jennifer and I drink it all day long. And the bottles are awesome and easy to hold, and they have no chemicals in their plastics.
Now, can I come to you? Are you in Fort Pierce, right?
Yep, right on US 1 inside the arcade building. My windows face the
That's the
Federal
old
building.
arcade building?
Yeah, the old arcade building still standing strong, looking more beautiful than ever. Yeah, you just
Oh,
park
cool.
behind, and I'm on the entrance on the Potbelly side.
I'll be introducing myself to you in the next couple days.
Awesome, and Jennifer's my manager, so if I'm not there, she's there, and she's awesome.
All right.
All right.
I will be up to see you guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Jeff.
you.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so yeah, alkaline water. There's so many things, and I always tell people that if it's natural, like if it's not from processing, genetically modified, chemicalized, you are pretty sure that it's not going to create inflammation and imbalance in your body. But man-made sugar. So a lot of times I'll say, oh, but sugar was here. And no, the sugar that was here is not the sugar we're ingesting. We're ingesting this white bleached carcinogenic powder. It's not sugar cane. It's not berries. It's not, honey that the bees made. Even our honey now we can't trust because 80% of it is corn syrup. So really, we're not making the rules and preaching them. We are just following what's happening to our population and all the conditions that are resulting from the choices we're making. So trust me, I wish I could eat brownies and chocolate chip cookies all day long and drink a half a bottle of wine at night and never ever feel pain and inflammation and the consequence of my choices. But I live in the real world just like everyone else, and I know everyone's feeling what I'm talking about. You make too many bad choices, you get a headache, you don't feel good, you start gaining weight, you're tired, you're achy, and then all of a sudden we want the pill to fix it. Well, unfortunately, there is no pill to fix it, but there's so many great things to prevent it from further progressing or causing such severe illness that you pass away earlier than you were meant to. So let's see. We're on water, and then we were talking about the curcumin from Curamed. So Curamed is really famous, but they also make Curamin. Now, Curamin is what I also take. Matt and I take the Curamin, and I also take Curamed because I know the importance of stopping the inflammatory processes in my body. And to me, swallowing a couple affordable pills a day that are completely safe and have no side effects should be in everyone's regimen. You take your probiotics, you take your natural anti-inflammatory. Now, all the things that are really good for us, our vegetables, our low glycemic fruits, those are all anti-inflammatories. And I'm hoping all my listeners know what they are. But there's one that I want to point out, organic broccoli. Organic broccoli fits the bill to help stabilize blood sugar, because when your blood sugar is low or high, even for a moment, it causes severe inflammation. Severe. It's like, again, surgical cuts slashing inside your body. Broccoli it has so much fiber and nutrients and chlorophyll that it not only is healing and stopping the inflammatory process, but it also produces glutathione, which is one of the most major antioxidants in the body. Super critical at stopping cancer cell growth, just keeping you strong and your immune system working properly and not overworking like as in autoimmune diseases. But the supplement, if you're just like, oh, can't stand broccoli, I try to eat it, can't do it, alpha lipoic acid. I haven't talked about this one in so long. It's one of my favorites. So alpha-lipoic acid is an incredible supplement. Most nutrients or supplements are either fat-soluble or water-soluble, which means they help protect the outer lining of your cell, which is the fat-soluble part, or the fluid inside your cell, water-soluble. So it usually uses one or the other pathway, not both. Alpha-lipoic acid works both. It helps repair both your outside of your cell and your inside of your cell and make a stronger cell, and even for the next generations of cells, because every minute we're replacing cells, and the normal workings of a cell is it's like, okay, time to go. It doesn't leave havoc in the body. It just goes, and then a new beautiful cell's made. But as these new cells are trying to be made, if there's not good tools in our body, good nutrition, good water, good fresh air, then all of a sudden it's going to make a more bad cell, like a cell that just doesn't perform as well as it should. And that's when we start getting sick. So again, I'm oversimplifying here just so everyone understands. But alpha-lipoic protects the outside of the cell, the inside, and it stabilizes blood sugar. We're finding out, just like inflammation, that if your blood sugar is stable, your inflammatory process is stable. So if alpha-lipoic can be a phenomenal antioxidant that produces even more glutathione in the body, why not? You have a win-win. And alpha-lipoic acid is very reasonable to buy. Extremely reasonable. We sell 100 milligrams and 300 milligrams. So if you go into a store that has less, like possibly 50 milligrams, definitely divide up the dose and always take alpha-lipoic with food. Okay? So you get some probiotics, you got some curcumin or Curamed, which I love. You have some alpha-lipoic acid that's going to make some glutathione, stabilize the blood sugar. And the next one, which I can't believe the story that goes along with this one, is healthy fats. How critical healthy fats are to stop inflammation. The reason why I'm like the story with it is because when I had dinner at this health training conference, is that they served margarine at the restaurant table. Now, folks, if you still have any buckets of butter in your fridge, if it's in a bucket, and gosh forbid it's even called margarine, so it's straight out, you know what you're buying, please destroy it, throw it away, don't even give it to an animal. I mean, this is the most lethal, carcinogenic food there is.
Hydrogenated oil, right?
Yeah. It's worse than that, Cliff. It's beyond even hydrogenization. It's chemicalized butane. Oh, God, I want to use a really bad word right now.
It's like eating plastic.
Yeah, beyond. Again, I would rather eat plastic than eat this, okay?
No.
It's really bad, folks. I'm not joking. I would have to do a 3-hour show just on why not to eat margarine. So just Google it, take my word for it, whatever you need to do. But please, do not ingest any solid butters that aren't real. My favorite one is either grass-fed butters or ghee. Ghee is phenomenal. Again, the tradition of making ghee has been around for like 3,000 years, and they didn't have heart disease eating all this ghee. So ghee is clarified grass-fed butter. So they're removing all the molecules but the fat from the clarification. So you're just getting healthy fat that's left. We need fat for our brain to make hormones, to stabilize blood sugar, to heal our gut. Everyone thinks of healthy fats now for like keto and weight loss. It's not about that. Yes, when you do more healthy fats and you stay away from processed or high glycemic carbs, you will lose weight. Why? Because your body's getting smarter, healthier, and using the tools properly. But it's not, you don't want to eat margarine, gosh forbid, thinking you're stopping heart disease. You're basically giving yourself heart disease. So buy real or don't buy it all. Like, I would rather see you spread, coconut oil or avocado or olive oil on your piece of toast than ever some stupid stuff that claims.
That doesn't sound too bad.
It's delicious.
Wow.
Oh my God. Like, to me, avocado, people make avocado ice cream. It's delicious. It's yummy. It satisfies your craving for fat. And again, it's more of like a habitual thing that we think we need sugar. And again, it's more addictive than the hardcore street drugs that are out there. So please, give yourself time and patience, but any healthy changes will help this vicious inflammation cycle. So probiotics, not doing stress eating, doing the deep breathing exercises, meditation. There are so many great things to help inflammation. I literally have like 12 pages of notes. I haven't even turned to page 3. But all the healthiest foods in nature, which happen to create alkalinity in the body, thanks Jeff for bringing that up, all fight inflammation. So all your vegetables, all your low glycemic fruit, anything that has good culture in it, like apple cider vinegar with the mother in it, anything that has good bacteria, kombucha. But again, stay away from ones that are commercially made with high sugar additives to make it more friendly for the consumer. Chemicals, GMOs go into our body just like prescription medications as an attack. The body tries to fight the attack and therefore inflammation out of control. So guys, we can prevent all these illnesses. And remember, those are symptoms. Heart disease is a symptom. Cancer is a symptom. Arthritis is a symptom. Diabetes is a symptom. Inflammation is the cause. This is a known fact, researched over and over and time again, and we can control inflammation. So not about genetics, not about you just got a poor roll of the dice. Inflammation is the environmental stresses, our sleeping patterns, what we consume, what we think. It all matters. So I really, really hope that today's show did help. And also grapeseed extract, everyone. They just published a study. Grapeseed extract in 13 days put a tumor size 65% reduction. The study just got published. So grapeseed extract from France. Okay, I think I covered as much as I could in an hour.
Well, certainly, yeah. Well, fresh back from the convention in
There
Atlanta.
we go. Yep, totally hyped up. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I really appreciate your time. Hope to see all of you soon.
And the archive of this show on YouTube is going to be labeled as inflammation with a note that a caller called in with a question about alkaline water. It's Joanne's World of Nutrition every Thursday morning in the 10 o'clock hour live on WPSL Port St. Lucie. The talk of the Treasure Coast, celebrating 25 years and counting. Archives of this show can be found on YouTube at WPSLTV.com.